Yes. Students, today I will discuss about disaster management. Am I audible and clear for everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
So, like in this disaster management, even though it's a small topic, but some MCQs you can expect from this topic, like disaster management. In this, there are certain terms involved here. That is, what is a disaster? So, definitions and all not much important from the MCQ point. Just a second. Yeah, hello Tehrim. Am I audible for you? Okay. So this disaster is nothing but any event. It is any event that causes a serious loss or some ecological disruption or any disruption to the humans and the services. So now this disruption it occurs uh, to such an can you people just switch off the microphone because some disturbance is happening here. Yeah, thank you. So disaster, what exactly it means that any event that results in it is an event that results in what a disruption in the ecological system or human system, or it causes such a major loss that some external interference is required. An external interference is required. Or there are so many other definitions. Some definition says that if more than 30 people are injured or involved or harmed, then you can straightforwardly call it as what?
Disa-
Disaster. And this definition is according to whom? S. Roshan, newcomers, Prabhakar. It is according to Grant Colin. Yes, so many
Yes, ma'am.
definitions are there. Just try to understand any one definition. So ultimate message is it is some event, an unexpected event, and that event has resulted in some outcome which requires some external interruption. Yes, and this disaster it can be of two types. One is natural disaster, another is man-made. Because there are some MCQs asked in the past related to which of the following is a man-made disaster, which of the following is a natural disaster. Let us see that. Natural, it can be geological like earthquake, Akarsh, Smriti, volcano. So these are all like examples for geological. Hydrological. Look at here. I'm putting a star mark here because in India, the maximum disaster that occur is because of the hydrological, that is sudden floods, tsunamis. So all this causes what? Major loss of life or disturbance to the general routine human activities. So in India, the most common is which one? Hydrological. Remember this because some MCQ has been asked on that, like which one of the following disaster is most common in India? It is which one? Hydrological. Then
Yes,
biological
ma'am.
means what? Sudden outbreak of epidemic. What is the present outbreak? Can anybody give the example? The coronavirus outbreak. This is a present. At this moment, this is the outbreak. That is a biological disaster. Then extraterrestrial. Under this, these meteoroids. So out of this planet, if anything comes from the universe, so that categorized under extraterrestrial disaster. Then man-made disaster. It can be of three types: sudden disaster or insidious disaster or wars. So sudden disaster, like example is bus accident, train accident, or a building collapse. All this comes under which one, students? Sudden disaster. And the classic example for sudden disaster is which one? Bhopal gas tragedy. Why I am stressing this again here? Because already some question has been asked on this. I will discuss little bit about this Bhopal gas and Chernobyl radionuclide accident also. Next, insidious disaster means it is something like slowly some event is occurring, but the outcome of that event is what? Very grave or very disasterful. Example is which one? Slow leakage of which one? Any poisons or radionuclide agents. So they come under insidious disaster. Another man-made disaster is what? Wars. So war between India, Pakistan, then Indo-Burman war. So there are so many wars that happened in the past, and also all these are example for what? Man-made disaster. Now look at this slide. So this is an example for what? Bhopal gas tragedy, which occurred in which year? 1984. What is the date? 3rd December 1984. Students, please remember this. Very, very important. Why it is important? Because till date, it is till today, even for today, this disaster is called as world's worst industrial disaster. If an MCQ is asked, which one of the following is the world's worst industrial disaster? If the question is asked, then please tick that it is Bhopal gas tragedy. So when it occurred? 3rd December, on the night of 3rd December 1984. So here what happened? 30 tons of toxic methyl. This chemical is very important, students. Remember the name of the chemical that got leached from this incident, that is methyl isocyanate. Methyl isocyanate, MIC. Please remember the name of the chemical. Prabhakar,
Yes, ma'am.
yes. Is it clear for everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, Gurram. Newcomer, welcome. So this is the chemical that was released during this Bhopal gas tragedy. Then what happened? This methyl isocyanate, the most hit and the affected people who were they? They were the infants and the older age people, small children and all. So why? Because this particular chemical, it has got high molecular weight. High molecular weight. Because of this high molecular weight, what happened? So this chemical, it was more towards the ground level. It was more towards the ground level because due to gravity and its weight, it was floating more in the ground level. So what happened? The people got affected. They got suffocation. The death mainly occurred because of what? Choking. The postmortem reports have shown that the death due to this Bhopal tragedy was mainly because of what? Choking. This you have to remember. Yes, and there was also cerebral edema and all, but the main cause for death was choking. And nearly it resulted in 5,000 deaths and many more casualties also later on. So it happened in Bhopal. And what is the name of the factory that caused the leak of this particular chemical? That is, the gas leaked from the Union Carbide Factory. UCF, that is Union Carbide Factory. So remember this. These are very, very striking points in this Bhopal gas tragedy. When did it occur, students? Newcomers and others also. This Bhopal gas tragedy, it occurred on 3rd December 1984, and the
84.
chemical you had to remember, methyl isocyanate, which is very, very dangerous. Now, students, one question you just link this to our epidemiology chapter. It is an example for which type of epidemic? It is an example for
Ma'am,
point
ma'am,
source
something
epidemic.
yes,
Point
ma'am.
source.
Yeah,
Point
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 source.
source.
source. Very good. Because what happens, this happened somewhere in 84, right? Some 35 years back, right? Now, even now, if we go to the same place, Bhopal, nothing will happen to us. The event has happened, it has happened, that's it. So, it is an example for what? Point source epidemic. A question can be asked on this. Next, very important is the Chernobyl disaster. So, when did this disaster occur? Early morning hours. That is somewhere in the 1:24 p.m. I mean a.m. So very early morning hours. What happened? There was an explosion in the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. So which was in Ukraine, SSR. Yes, Ukraine, USSR. Just remember this. When did it happen? April 26, 1986. Please, please remember, because even now also some uh, events or adverse effects you can see. So what happened? There was a release of the nuclear items, radionuclear items from this plant. Sudden explosion took place. Look at here. So what was the composition of that radionuclide element? That was 7 million curies of iodine. Remember this, 7 million curies of iodine isotope. Then cesium, that is Cs, isotope 134 and 137. Then strontium 90. Remember this, because MCQs or questions has been asked on this. Very, very important. happened? These are the three agents that were very important, which resulted in the immediate effects were what? Immediately when it released, 31 people died. Like later on, many people also suffered, and many people are also still suffering. So because of the like slow release of this radionuclide elements. Yes. So this particular disaster, when did it occur? 26th April 1986. So what was the agent that was responsible for this? Remember this: iodine isotope. Yes. Then cesium. Remember this: 134, 137. Then strontium 90. Yes. Students, clear with this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Then what is a present important thing we have to remember here? Greenhouse effect. So currently we are running with the problem of which one, students? Greenhouse effect. So what is happening here? So this is the planet. For example, this is our earth and this is the sun, and everyday sun rays are released, and the moment these rays are falling, and some rays are again reflected back. The sun rays whichever are falling, they are reflected back, but in the atmosphere what are present? Some gases are present, like carbon dioxide, water vapor and all. So many gases. So what will happen? These gases, they will absorb this, and then they will try to maintain the atmosphere temperature. Now what happened? Due to the use of all these ACs, refrigerators, and more of release of the what chlorofluorocarbons, now and lot of water vapor release also. So what is happening? These greenhouse gases, this amount has been increased, and because of this they start absorbing lot of what? These radiations, and because of this there is slow rise in the global temperature. So now what is happening? This resulted in what? Global warming. And this global warming results in what? Melting of the ice, and increase in the sea level, and then this results in decrease in the landform. So these are all these events that happen because of the pollutants or the greenhouse gases. Yes, are you all clear with this,
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
students? So currently we are facing the problem of what? Greenhouse effect. Yes,
Yes,
this is mainly because of the release of greenhouse gases. And if the question is asked, the most common greenhouse gas, water vapor. Remember this: water vapor, carbon dioxide. If you find these options, please tick this. Yes. Next. Now we will see what is like suddenly a disaster is happening, then what all events will happen. Yes, the moment disaster happen, we call it as what? Disaster impact. Like for example, earthquake or some flood, anything happens, then we call it as what? The first point, we call it as disaster impact. Once a disaster has happened, then immediately the response will take place. So here who will come? We people come, that is health team, health professionals, and paraprofessionals or paramedicals, and other NGOs. They will start and they appear in this response area to provide what? The basic thing is what? First aid. Remember, the moment disaster or some uneventful situation happens, the first thing is that response. In that response, what should be done first? Always first aid and relief. First aid and relief. Remember this because already some questions has been asked on that. Immediately disaster happens, what should be done? First aid and relief. Then one question I want to ask you: what is surge capacity? Surge capacity, what is this? Can anybody answer? Newcomers and other students: Roshan, Akarsh, Vani, Prabhakar, Smriti, others also, Gurram. What is surge capacity? Surge capacity means it is the ability of the system to tackle this emergency, that is disaster. In India, we have got good disaster team system is there. So like a disaster team is very well functioning in India, so there is no problem. Especially when we see the South Asian region, our India has got very better disaster management service system. We have got a good team, like CPRF team is there. Then Indo-Tibetan border police, they also go and help the people over there. So many teams, they go and function in this site of disaster. So in India, this surge capacity means what? It is the ability of any team to go and act on this disaster adequately. Yes, that is a surge capacity. Once in this response, we do what? We do all this triage system. I'll discuss everything. So triage, that is, we categorize the people into different color coding system based on the which one livelihood, based on the chances of survival. We give priority to the patients who were affected in this disaster. Once after provision of all the healthcare facilities and basic facilities, then what will be done? Rehabilitation. In rehabilitation, what will be done? Facilities or water supply will be provided adequately, then sanitation will be restored. So everything will be taken care in this rehabilitation. Then reconstruction, like if any roads were damaged or railway tracks were damaged or buildings were collapsed, offices were destroyed due to any earthquake or flood or storm, anything. So everything will be reconstructed. So from this response, rehabilitation till reconstruction, we call it as what? Recovery phase. We call it as what, students? Recovery
Because
phase. Now, after all this, everything is settled. Now we are totally relieved. Now, what we should do? Mitigation. What is this mitigation? Students, look
to
at this.
find out the disaster, ma'am.
Yes, Roshan, tell me. Yeah, what is mitigation?
To find out the cause of disaster.
Yeah, to find out the cause of disaster. So just this is an arbitrary picture of the India political map. So what is this picture? It shows that, so somewhere in this area, so it is like earthquake zones. Different zones are there, right? Zone 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, this is all based on the what? Tectonic theory. Some plates, tectonic theory, if you remember all your school days theories. So what is there? These zones, this is a line. If you see the Indian map, so the places which fall under this zone, that is New Delhi. I think today also some morning some three Richter scale tremors were felt in Delhi, right? Anybody from Delhi? I think yesterday or today, if you have seen the news. So what is this? All this Himalayan belt region. Yes, so in this Himalayan belt region, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Jharkhand, West Bengal, and little bit of Orissa. Then after this, northeastern states and Himalayan area, Nepal and all. So these areas frequently, like the plates, the earth plates, they keep on moving or sliding over each other, and there is what? High risk of what, students? Occurrence of earthquake. Now we know these are the risky areas. Now in this risky area, what we should do? As Roshan said, we know this is a high risk area, right? Now in this high risk area, what to do? We need to plan in such a way that if at all an earthquake occurs in future, the damage should not be very severe. That type of plan we should do. So for that, what we do? We construct the houses with which one? Wooden houses. Vani, in Kashmir, most of the houses are made up of wooden or what? Yes, am I
They are
audible?
made, they are made of cement and steel.
Okay, okay. Now, usually, what happens? Areas where lot of earthquakes or floods are there, usually houses are constructed with wooden houses. And if you see Japan, most of the houses are constructed with which one? Wooden, because Japan falls under which one? Ring of Pacific, Ring of Fire. So all these are different geographical aspects. If you see Uttarakhand and all, so a lot of landsliding and all will happen. 2013 disaster. So all these things we know it already. There is a risk is there. So in such areas, what we will do? So we will plan in such a way that even the adverse event occurs, but the risk or the it should be minimized. The disasterful event or the potential should be minimized. And this is the peninsular India. So peninsular India, what people are living in South India, what they are risk at? They are risk at which one, students? Risk for tsunami. Yes,
Yes,
People
ma'am.
who are living close to this peninsular India, they are very much at risk of what? Tsunami. So mitigation means here the risk factor should be identified and we should take such a measures that in future if any event occurs related to this, then the adverse event should be reduced. Then after that the last one is preparedness. If at all some earthquake, flood or tsunami occurs, now our team should go and some readiness should be there. Suddenly like we can't prepare the army and men, so we need to have all the time throughout the year 24 into 7 into 365 days. So or 24 into 365 days, this team, disaster management team, should be ready. Yes, that means we are prepared for to serve or act on disaster at any time. That talks about preparedness. This entire thing is called as disaster cycle. It is called as what? Disaster cycle. So now we will focus mainly on this response area where our healthcare facility will be acting. Now look at here. In response, what is important? Akarsh, newcomers, Prabhakar, triage. What is
Yes, ma'am.
triage, students?
Color coding.
Yeah, it is a color coding system. So it is basically for trauma or whatever in disaster, what happens, many casualties will be there. Many people will be dead. So many people will be lying. So different varieties of cases will be there. Some cases, it will be such a way that within 0 to 6 hours, they need to have what? Immediate resuscitation is required or immediate surgeries are required or immediate CPR is required. So such cases are called as what? High priority cases. And for such patients, we give a color code of which one? Red
Red.
color. Red color. Then there are some cases of for some type of patients in this disaster who require some emergency care or surgeries. Remember, if there is a fractured limb or cut body part or anything, so surgery is required but not very immediate. So within 6 to 24 hours you can do the surgery and you can save the patient. So such patients, they fall under which category, students? Yellow color.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Can you just switch off your microphone? Some disturbance is there. Yeah, thank you. So yellow color, remember, it is also given by one more color, it is blue color. Remember, yellow color or blue color, it indicates which one, students? Medium priority. That means who require the medical treatment or any surgery within 6 to 24 hours. High priority means immediate resuscitation within 0 to 6 hours. Then green color, many questions has been or many times in NEET and other entrance exam question has been asked on this green. So what is this? Ambulatory patients. That means what? Small cuts are there or small abrasions are there. So such patients who can readily go to the home, who can walk also. So such patients who are conscious, who are walking and small cuts or small hairline fractures are there. All these patients will be given a color code of what, students? Green color. Then what about this black? Black is dead or
Yeah.
moribund patients. What is moribund patient, student? Roshan, Smriti, Akash, Prabhakar and others. What is moribund patient? Moribund, very important.
Unsalvageable, ma'am.
Huh?
Unsalvageable.
Unsalvageable, very good. Excellent answer. Who told this? Akash or who is this?
Ma'am, Roshan,
Roshan?
ma'am.
Yeah, very good. Excellent answer. So, moribund means unsalvageable. That means what? Even you do any treatment, but there is no chances of survival. Because looking at this patient only, you can say you do CPR, you do any possible like medical management for this patient. He or she is going to die only. No chance of survival only. So, such cases we call it as what? Moribund. So, in this triage, what we do, we give least importance to this moribund because even though we do CPR, any treatment, anyway, he or she is going to die. So don't waste your time on this moribund patients. It is useless. Instead, you focus on this red, yellow patients because if you do CPR or anything, there are chances that they can survive. Yes, our what purpose of triage is what? To increase survival rate, to increase the survival So don't go and waste your time on this moribund patient. Maybe, for example, if there are 10 moribund patients and who are definitely going to die, if you give CPR and any other emergency care also, out of 10, maybe one will be at least alive with some morbid life condition. So, do you think it is useful? But if you invest your time on these high priority cases, if you give CPR or some immediate surgeries, if you do, chances that out of 10, maybe 8 can be alive. So it is better use your mind wisely than do the treatment. So triage is a color coding system based on the based on what students, based on the chances of survival, based on chances of survival, or which one, livelihood. So that is a triage. So four colors are given: yellow color or blue color. Remember this, because NEET this question has been asked. Within 6 to 24 hours, if surgery is done, then the patient can be saved. It falls under green, blue or yellow category. Now what we do, once we identify and segregate the people, okay, then what we do, we have got to look at this triage tags. These are called as what is, students, triage tags. So here one tag will be there, one thread will be there. So this tag can be tied to the limbs, whatever the body part is easily available for us, maybe to the hand or leg or anywhere. You just tie, and here certain information you can write. All this basic respiratory, pulse, mental status, all this, if possible you write it. Otherwise, if some non medico is taking care of that, then don't worry. If possible, try to take the identification details of the patient who is alive, like ask the name, address, city. Then you mark the color code also. Like maybe, for example, red means yes, high priority case. So just stick for this red color. So now the medical team, when they come, they will look at this tag and they will see that okay, red color means fine. Now I will do the surgery or whatever the relevant required medical treatment within 0 to 6 hours. If your tag, if you have put the tick of yellow color means okay, now this is not that severe case, I can do the treatment or service for this patient within 6 to 24 hours so that the patient can be alive. If green color means very minor, so don't worry. So medical team, the moment they see that, quickly they can act. So this is like assisting or helping the medical system so that rapidly the service can be provided. So clear with the concept of triage? Yes.
Yes.
So we have the tag for this triage. Four internationally accepted colors are there. So you tie the tag to the limb or any easily accessible body part so that medical team, when they come, they can work on. Now, what are the types of triage? So we have got many types of triage are there. One is simple triage. Simple triage. So simple triage means what? Just now before I discuss, no, like usually some trained people will be there. Suddenly earthquake or some disaster has happened, landslide, anything. So what will happen? The disaster management team will come. They are already trained actually. So they will look at the people who are lying down. So they will categorize them into different color coding. They will do it. So this is all about what? Simple triage system. Then what is this start? So START is also a type of triage system. So here what is the full form of START? It is simple triage and rapid treatment. So now for example, Uttarakhand floods which happened in 2013. Do you all remember this? How
Yes.
disasterful it was? Yes, so now what happened? It is all fully mountain area. Mountain area. There is no proper rail or road or flight transportation. Very difficult to reach the area. So now what has happened? So we need some people to immediately act over there. For the people of a disaster team to reach us, it will take lot of time. So in such a situation, what we should do, these locally available people like school teachers or postmasters or some shopkeepers, anybody, some locally, some available people, they should be given some prior training only. So what they will do, so these local people, at least they will help the people till the actual team will reach there. So what they will do, they will just based on their what local or the worldly knowledge, they will just segregate the people into red, black, green and yellow category. So this is what a simple triage and rapid treatment. So it is like usually seen for all these very remote areas. So we follow this particular system where these local people they'll go and act immediately during the time of a disaster. Then what is this reverse triage? Students, anybody? Roshan, Smriti, am I audible to everyone? Students, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what is reverse triage? Now, this reverse triage it is used in war field. War. Now, what happens? What is the principle of triage? Here is who is worst affected or severe cases, give them priority. So that is the actual principle of triage, give the priority as a first one. But whereas in war what happens, like many people soldiers will be injured. Now in this war what they will do, who has got minor injuries, now what they will do, they will identify the soldiers with the minor injuries and immediate treatment will be given for this least injured people, so that these least injured people once they get the treatment they can immediately join the war field. Otherwise what happens, if they work out on this severely injured patient on this war field, then what happens, they won't get any men for working in the area of the war. Yes, so reverse triage is a triage that is applicable in the war field, where the importance is given for whom, students, it is given
Minor.
for the least
Minor.
affected or least severely affected individual, so that that soldier if he gets the treatment he will get up and he will come back and participate in the war. Yes, so what are the types of triage, student? The simple triage, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Then we have
Mhm.
start.
Reverse.
This, remember this. Then start is useful for what, remote areas, and the lay people will be functioning over here. Then if it is reverse triage. Reverse triage is useful in where, students? War.
War.
In the war follow the principle of which one, reverse triage. Then let me tell you some of the general important information. That is National Disaster Management Authority, that is NDMA. So National Disaster Management Authority. So it is under National Disaster Act. Of 2005. So this particular act has introduced this one. Some authority is there, and the headquarters for this authority is at New Delhi. And who is taking care of this? It is under which ministry? Ministry of Home Affairs. Just remember all this. Then very important is the nodal centers. Nodal center means what? It is every state will be having district, right? Now
Yes.
every district should have this disaster management team should be there. Every district it should have. So that we call it as what? Nodal center. Because we don't know. So today Hubli also may, the place where I'm living, some disaster may happen, or this is one district like Dharwad district. So we don't know. So every district, one disaster team, management team should be available. So that we call it as what? Nodal center. Then there is something called as National Institute of Disaster Management, NIDM. So the name institute itself says that it gives some training. Yes. So from where these people will get training? From this institute. So where is it located? Again at New Delhi. Yes. Then we have got National Disaster Response Force, NDRF. Did you all hear about this? So it usually consists of, I'll show you the slides here. Uh, so National Disaster Response Force, it was formed in which year, students? 2006.
Six.
So it is a NDRF. That means what? Any disaster happens, now this particular force will come into action. It includes many section of military people are there. That is Border Security Force, BSF. Heard about this? Border Security Force. So the Border Security Force, they will come to the site of disaster. These men will come. Then CPRF, Central Reserve Police Force. They will also come and act over here. Then what is ITBP? That is Indo-Tibetan Border Police. So they will also come and act on this disaster site. Then Saurashtra Seema Bal. So these are all the what? Military or the defense service people who will go and they help the people at the site of disaster. Remember this. It is a response force or the team. Where is the headquarters for this located? It is at New Delhi. And it is under which ministry, students? Ministry of Home Affairs. So right now, who is control of this? Amit Shah. Yes, who is control for this? It is Amit Shah.
Yes, ma'am.
Next, just know have a knowledge about this National Institute for Disaster Management (NIDM). So it was started in 1995. Again, it is also under the control of Ministry of Home Affairs, that is MHA. And what is its basic function? It will train the students. Training is given, so they conduct the workshops and all. Like they will only create some artificial events. They will conduct the training, and they will also assist the government in policy formation. Assistance is very important, and they also help the impact of the disaster through technological innovations. So some innovations they do, technological innovations. So these are the general functions they do. Yes, clear with this?
Yes,
Now,
ma'am.
this is very important. ERS. Students, remember this emergency response system. So, for example, any fire outbreak has happened, fire or some rape or some mob activity or some natural disaster, anything has happened, any explosion, earthquake, or any flood. Students, now you just dial this number 112. Dial the number which one? 112. It is a pan India. Pan India means what? Throughout the India, the same number is applicable. For example, 100, if you dial, to whom it will go, students?
Police.
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 Yes. 108,
Ambulance.
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 Yes. 112, it is for our emergency.
Mm-hmm.
ERS, Emergency Response Service. Now, why did it start? Remember, Delhi gang rape, Nirbhaya case, it happened, right? On the unfaithful event, all those things happened. So after that, what happened? Government under this Nirbhaya Fund scheme. So what happened? It started this emergency response system, and it was started on 19th January 2019. Yes, recently it was started, and now currently it is in 18 states. Roshan Smriti, it is there in. Does this number work in Orissa?
No, ma'am.
No, it is not there because there are some states still it is not even implemented. I think recently this Hyderabad, this veterinary doctor, she was also killed, no, raped and murdered. So I think she could not get to the police because she was not aware of this particular number. So it is like it's a public awareness that everybody should be aware of this particular number because some question can be asked. And for this app is also there, that is mobile app. Then who are all involved in this 112 emergency response system? Police, fire, and women service is also available. Women team members, and it is under control of which one? Multiple defense. I mean systems are there, but it is basically under again whom? Ministry of Home Affairs. Now let us start with the MCQs. Are you all clear with the basic concept? Yeah. Post earthquake, which of the following vaccine is recommended by WHO? Students, can you tell me?
Polio.
Tetanus,
Yeah,
ma'am.
tetanus.
None of the above.
Okay, anybody? Can we give TT? Students, tell me TT, cholera, typhoid, or none of the above?
None of the
Call
above.
Huh?
None of the above.
Who has answered this?
Smriti.
Excellent. It is none of the above. Why? Because it is a general rule that usually during any disaster, it is better don't do any mass vaccination. Mass vaccination, no. WHO has strictly said that, especially typhoid, cholera, and tetanus and all, don't do any mass vaccination. Why? Because during this disaster event it is very difficult to maintain which one, students? Cold chain, that is vaccine. managing temperature, it is not possible, very difficult to maintain. Like we don't get electricity, or we don't get adequate amount of that temperature to be maintained, so the viability of the vaccines will be lost. And apart from that, what will happen, sterilization issues also will come, right? Sterilization issues, and people also will be what, they'll be what, immune system will also go down during this disaster, due to poor diet and contaminated water source. They may get contaminated with or infected with many other diseases. So what happens in such an event, if you give vaccine, the benefits of the vaccine may not be what reachable to the patient, rather than it may not provide any usefulness to the patient. Another thing is that incubation period of the disease. Like the vaccine, if we give today, to perform its action, usually it requires 6 to 8 weeks. To get this immune response, to initiate that, it usually requires how much, students? 6 to 8 weeks. Immediately we don't get the response, right? Now disaster means, today if it happened, immediate what protection won't be obtained by giving the vaccination. So usually vaccines are contraindicated during the disaster, except
Measles.
which, measles,
Measles.
except measles vaccine. You can go ahead with giving this measles vaccine. There are some reasons why we had to give the measles vaccine during this epidemic outbreak. Why MR vaccine or simply plain measles vaccine? Why, students? Can anybody tell?
Incubation period is approximately 10 days.
Yeah. So they, in general, if you see, the incubation period of measles is how much? 10 days. But when you give the vaccine, when you give the measles vaccine, then what happens? The immune stimulation, the immune response stimulation will occur within how many days, students? Within 7 days. So quickly there will be an immune activation will take place. So this is a special feature of this measles vaccine. This is one point. Second thing is that during this disasters or any uneventful event, then what happens? There will be vitamin A, vitamin A deficiency, vitamin A deficiency, and also if measles is affected, which is a respiratory borne infection, then measles leads to vitamin A deficiency. Do you all agree with this,
Yes,
students?
ma'am.
Because there is a direct link with the measles and vitamin A deficiency. So, measles, then vitamin A depletion or deficiency will occur. So, now if there is a vitamin A deficiency, it will lead to what, students? Xerophthalmia. So, any disaster, xerophthalmia is very much common. So, we don't want all these health events to happen. So, just to prevent all this, better you vaccinate the people with which one, students? Measles vaccine. So measles vaccine is given for two purpose. One is quick effect, quick immune effect will be there. Second thing, it helps in prevention of the vitamin A depletion. Vitamin A depletion. So these are the reasons why measles vaccine is given or recommended during any disaster or during any epidemic outbreak. Yes, understood?
Yes, ma'am.
And one more thing, if at all any epidemic outbreak is there, now what you can do is like you can give the vaccine in between the epidemic, like during the inter-epidemic period. So epidemic outbreak. So in between no outbreak. So during this time, give the vaccine so that during this time, the vaccine will take its time to develop the body immune system against a specific antigen. Yes, so this is a time where you can give the vaccine during inter-epidemic period. So these points you have to remember. So WHO has recommended that, according to WHO, cholera, typhoid, tetanus, even this is not required. Even if you give also, it is of no use, they say. So these are all vaccines are not recommended for the people who are affected with disaster. But students, remember this cholera and typhoid vaccine to be taken by whom? Health team members. health team members. And one more point I want to tell you that usually this cholera and typhoid vaccines, nowadays we have got conjugated vaccine. Otherwise, previously we used to have what? Polysaccharide, typhoid polysaccharide vaccines, cholera polysaccharide vaccines. So what is the problem with this polysaccharide vaccine, students? So they take only the carbohydrate component of the bacterial cell wall and they prepare the vaccine. So what is the problem with this polysaccharide vaccines? Problem is weak immune memory. Weak immune memory. So even if you give a typhoid polysaccharide vaccine or cholera polysaccharide vaccine, what happens? Immune memory is very weak, so you need to give multiple doses and efficacy will be very less. So that is the reason we don't much prefer for all these things. And usually all the live attenuated vaccines are contraindicated during this disaster events, because already there are so many problems: cold chain maintenance, sterilization, our body immunity, everything is under one big questionable. Yes, so the answer for this first one is none of the above. Next, in droughts, commonly noticed vitamin deficiency. Now, students, you only answer this. Which vitamin deficiency is most commonly seen during any drought or flood or even during
Vitamin,
any? Yeah, tell me. Which one,
vitamin M.
student? Vitamin A, very good. So just remember one common point: poor diet, poor diet, then what happens? The first vitamin to deplete is what? Vitamin A. Yes, followed with vitamin A. Which deficiency can occur? It is then vitamin C, that is ascorbic acid, right? So most common is vitamin A. After this, ascorbic acid deficiency is also very common. So poor diet and respiratory infection like measles happen means just think that the person is going to have this vitamin A deficiency. Yes. So earthquake or any disaster, baby has been infected with measles, then in that event give MR vaccine, and then you also give vitamin A drops. Vitamin A drops. So how much you should give vitamin A drops, students? 2 lakh
International.
international units. 2 lakh international unit dosage is sufficient. So most common is which one, students? Vitamin A deficiency. Next, which epidemic does not occur after a disaster? Which epidemic does not occur after a disaster? Can you tell me, students?
Measles, ma'am.
Which, for example, any disaster has happened, like flood or earthquake, anything, then which disaster possibly may not occur? Okay, I will tell
Meningitis.
you. Leptospirosis, mainly because of the rats. Do you all agree with this? Rat urine and all, it causes which one? This particular thing. So when these rats will come out during flood, yes, flood, what happens, or earthquake or landslides, what will happen? The rat hole or the rat burrows, what will happen? They will all get disturbed, and the rat, it will come out of its rat burrow. Then it will come and mix with the humans. It will come and mix with the humans, and it will pass its urine, and it will contaminate the human food. So chances that this particular leptospirosis is very common during any disaster. Agree with this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then let us see what is this ARTI, acute respiratory tract infection. Fine. Because of this disaster, many people will be laid down together in the camps, because all the shelter, everything will be lost. Everyone will be in close proximity. So chances of respiratory borne or airborne diseases are very high, like measles, TB. So anything respiratory related diseases are very high during this epidemic or disaster. Fine, agree with this. Then measles, again it is also very common, it is a respiratory borne disease. Then what about this leishmaniasis? It is also called as what, students? White leprosy. Do you all agree with this?
Yes, ma'am.
Leishmaniasis, also called as what, which one? White leprosy. It is caused by which one? What is vector for this?
Sandfly.
Sandfly.
Sandfly. So now if you see India, so where is this fellow sandfly is present? Where this bug is, this vector is present? This fellow is present especially in this area. That is Eastern UP, Jharkhand, Bihar, West Bengal. So usually it is confined to these particular places. This sandfly. Yes. So this sandfly it carries this parasite Leishmania donovanae and it will cause this leishmaniasis. Yes. Kala azar, oriental source, different types there. So cutaneous and all. Now during this earthquake or anything, if it happens in this area, Gujarat, Jammu, Andhra and all, we don't expect this leishmania because its vector itself is not here, right? Understood or no the concept? The
Yes,
vector
ma'am.
is not here. Yes. So leishmaniasis is the one which doesn't occur usually after any disaster. Yes. If at all other than leishmania, if they give filariasis, filariasis. So does it occur after? Can you expect filariasis after any disaster outbreak? Students?
Maybe,
No,
ma'am.
because the vector for the filaria, the mosquito agent. So what is a peculiarity? It is seen only in the coastal part of India, that is peninsular part. So Gujarat, then Andhra Pradesh, that is Karnataka, Kerala, Goa, then Orissa, so Tamil Nadu, Bengal. So all this peninsular part of India. So the vector for this filariasis is present. So if at all any natural disaster or man-made disaster, if it occurs in this area, yes, you can expect filariasis, but you cannot expect the filariasis in rest of the parts of the India. Yes. So this is
Yes,
the
ma'am.
importance why we should know which diseases are common to one particular area. If at all Japanese encephalitis, northeastern states of India. Yes, remember this. So here the answer is which one, students? Leishmania. So leptospirosis, rat is present everywhere in India, right?
Yes,
Jammu,
ma'am.
Kashmir. Rat is present or no? Rat is present.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Karnataka,
ma'am.
rat is present. So rats are present everywhere. So don't worry about that. Next. During massive disaster, what should be done first? First, what we should do, students? Search,
Search
rescue,
and rescue and first
and
aid.
first aid. It is a straightforward question.
Yes,
First
ma'am.
thing what you should do, that is search, that is identify the cases, rescue them, and give the first aid treatment. Then after that, what you do, you have to tag the tie and all. That is the second step. Then after that, stabilization, that is the later part. Then hospital treatment, it is the next part. So the first thing is what? Search and rescue and do the first aid. Yes. So the answer over here is which one, students? First one. Next, nodal center. Already I discussed about this. Nodal center for the disaster management. Where it should be present? It should be present
District.
in primary health centers
District.
of the district. That means every district should have one nodal center for disaster management. That team should be there. So every district. So remember this. So this question has also been asked for you. Next, in triage. Now he is asking about the color coding. How many colors are there, students, in triage? Can you tell me, Prabhakar, what is the first color? Prabhakar, am I audible?
Red color, red color.
Yeah, red color. So red color is high priority.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
then our yellow or blue color,
Blue.
it is medium or moderate priority. Green is ambulatory. So okay type of patient. Black is dead, already dead, or remember moribund patient. Moribund patient. Moribund means who is not dead, but there is no use in giving any treatment. Anyway, he or she is going to die. So all these patients will be given which color, student? Black color.
Black
Now
color.
look at here. So black color means do you do immediate resuscitation? No.
No, ma'am.
Ambulatory
No.
patient? No.
No.
Ambulatory patient is given which one, students?
Green.
Green color. First option, you give red color for that. Then unsalvageable patient, that means no use. Even if you do the treatment also, he or she is going to die. So don't waste your time there. So this fellow will be given which color, students?
Black.
Black color. Then high priority again our red color only. So the answer over here is which one, students? Black color is given for this third option. Yes?
Yes,
Fine.
ma'am.
Next, the question another MCQ asked is triage is. What is this triage? It is a concept in
Concept.
trauma.
Concept of trauma, ma'am.
Excellent answer, wonderful. So it is a concept in trauma and other options. Let us see. They are all totally unrelated. It is a method in breast lump diagnosis. No. It is a management of old age health problem. No. Then investigation of duodenum. All these are the nonsense things here. So not related to our triage. So it is something related to triage T and triage is related to trauma. Yes? Fine. Next one. In disaster management, following are practiced except. So now question
Ma-
is asking except.
Mass
So what?
vaccination.
Mass vaccination.
Excellent answer. In any earthquake or anybody, if the minister comes and tells to Akash, Roshan or Smriti or any of the students and newcomers, are you do the mass vaccination? You have to tell them that no, we are not going to do the mass vaccination for the people who are involved in this team. But we will do vaccination only for which one, students? Measles. Because all these ministers, they won't be knowing all this. But remember, as a healthcare professional, you people or we people should take of which one, student? Typhoid and cholera vaccines or TT. So we people should be ready with, we need to take these vaccines, but don't give these vaccines to the disaster affected people. Remember this. This is a WHO strict recommendation. I think you know the reasons also for this. Cold chain, no proper sterilization, poor immune system, there are many factors which says that no. And live attenuated vaccines absolutely contraindicated. Yes, so don't do
Yes.
any mass vaccination. Fine. So all this rehabilitation, disaster response, triage and all, we do it. Next, the gas responsible for Bhopal gas tragedy. Now students, now you only answer me. In the beginning I
Methyl
told you.
isocyanate.
Methyl
Correct. Methyl.
isocyanate.
Very good. It should be there in your mind only. MIC. Methyl isocyanate. When did this Bhopal gas tragedy occur? Night,
1984.
3 December
on the night,
1984.
midnight.
April
19,
1984.
yeah, 1984. Recently, few days back, Vishakhapatnam, that gas
Vizag.
leakage happened, no?
Vizag.
Yeah. So it is also an example for such type of event. So remember this. Now, what is the significance? It is referred to as even at present world's worst
Worst
industrial disaster.
disaster.
Worst industrial disaster. Remember these points. Next, natural disaster causing maximum death in India. So it is
Hydrological.
Hyd-
what?
Hydrological.
hydrological.
Hydrological. Very good. Hydrological. Now, one point I want to tell you here is that any disaster happens, now what we should do, because very important is that we can't give medicines or we can't give vaccination, because we can't keep on giving the chemo prophylaxis to each and every individual. What is the best thing is that you do chlorination of the water.
Yes, ma'am. Safe drinking
Now,
water supply.
of the drinking water supply. Now here chlorination, students, don't use the word simple chlorination. Here we use what? Super chlorination. Super chlorination. This word is very important. What
Yes,
is
ma'am.
super chlorination? You add more and more amount of chlorine, all the to the water. So
Better
super
than soup.
chlorination means the recommended is what? Zero point 0.5 milligram of chlorine per liter or zero point 0.5 ppm, right? Parts per million. So this is the recommended chlorine, residual chlorine. So all this I'll discuss in environmental chapter. So residual chlorine, how much it should be there? In a normal situation, it should be zero point 0.5 ppm. But whenever a
Yes,
disaster
ma'am.
happens, it should be somewhere 0.7 ppm. That means you add a lot of chlorine to the water and you just supply that water, because that is the worst situation. Because of that, at least you can prevent which one? GI, gastroenteritis.
Enteritis.
Because water contamination, Gastroenteritis is the most common outbreak of disease among this natural or man-made disaster. So you can be asked a question: most common disease after a
Post
disaster.
post
That is
disaster.
which one, students? Acute
Gastroenteritis.
gastroenteritis. Now, to prevent this one, what we should do? We should do superchlorination. This word is very important. If you remember your environment chapter, not just chlorination, we do which one, students?
Superchlorination.
Superchlorination. Super means add excess amount of chlorine, at least it should be 0.7 milligrams or ppm, both are one and same, per liter of water. So you add that. Yes.
Okay.
Now, if I ask you one more thing, are the floods are dangerous or earthquake is danger for the post disaster epidemics? For an epidemic to occur, a question can be asked on this also. Remember, now some disaster has happened. After this disaster, now outbreak will happen. You are anticipating some outbreak will happen. Now, in which of these disaster, either in flood or earthquake, in which of this disaster the possible epidemic outbreaks chances are highest?
Floods, ma'am.
Very
Flood,
good. In
flood.
flood, because what happens, like in the flood, what happens? River or water stream is there, lot of human bodies will be there. It will carry away the humans, right? Drowning, everything will be there, so bodies will get decomposed, so we won't be able to catch up those bodies also. Now what happens? All the dirt, contaminated water, so a lot of microbes. So what will happen? So this will and the remaining people, they'll consume this water only. Then fecal oral contamination, it leads to sudden acute outbreaks or epidemics. So floods, you can expect lot and lot of epidemic outbreak, especially our acute gastroenteritis. So better you that you make sure that you do superchlorination. As a health officer, what you should recommend? You please add excess of chlorine. Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
fine. Now, after acute gastroenteritis, what is the second most common post disaster diseases? It is acute respiratory tract infections. It can be anything. Yes, any respiratory infection. Next, true about triage. Now he is asking some true statement. So just look at here some color coding, and he is asking the priority. Yellow color, least priority. Do you agree with this?
No,
No.
ma'am.
Wrong.
To
No,
whom we
ma'am.
give least priority? This black,
Black color.
that is dead
Black color.
or moribund. So we don't give much importance to these two categories. So yellow means what? Yellow or blue, it is medium priority. Then red, high or highest priority. Then green means ambulatory, it is correct. Then blue means ambulatory, he is saying it is wrong. So what is the answer over here? It is green, ambulatory. Yes. Next. Students, can you just switch off the microphone? Thank you. Now, Chernobyl nuclear explosion. When did it occur, students?
April
April 1986.
1986.
Remember, last some things now we need to understand logically. Okay, 1986. That is April 26. Now, this nuclear explosion occurred in USSR. Okay. Now, Chernobyl nuclear explosion. Now, he is asking what was the chemical that or nuclear material that was responsible for this. Now, we
Fourth
know
one.
MIC. It was responsible for which one,
Bhopal.
students?
Bhopal
Bhopal
gas.
gas
Bhopal gas.
tragedy. No, this is the wrong answer. Now, Union Carbide. Now, this is the name of the factory. So
Yes,
this
ma'am.
Yes,
factory, it is again related to our Bhopal gas tragedy only. Now
yes,
radioisotope, uranium and all, polonium, uranium. No,
yes,
it is not related to this particular nuclear explosion. But this one, if you remember the beginning of my lecture, I told you
yes,
iodine
ma'am.
isotope 131, then cesium isotope, two isotopes are there, 134, 137, then strontium 90. So these were the three radionuclide isotopes which were exploded or leaked during this Chernobyl nuclear explosion. So just remember this. So these are all the historical facts, and some questions were asked, and it may be asked also, and you should know them also. Yes. And what does it causes? Acute radiation effect
Syndrome.
or syndrome. Yes, just you have to know them. Now, arrange the following phases of disaster cycle in logical sequence. I hope you remember the cycle over there in the first
Yes, ma'am.
slide. So first,
Yes, ma'am.
disaster impact, that is an event has occurred. Then after the impact has occurred, then what we'll do? Response.
Response.
Immediately respond for that.
Yes, ma'am.
Then what we will do? We will do some
Rehabilitation.
rehabilitation, rehab
Yes,
service.
ma'am.
Then after that, what we will do? Mitigation. Now
Reconstruction.
everything is over. Now you sit and think of, RA, now this risk factor is there. Now what I can do in future if something again happens of same type, impact should be reduced. So that we call it as what, students? Mitigation. Then
Mitigation.
after that, preparedness.
Prepared.
Then again the cycle will keep on continuing. So now look at the options here which suits for this disaster cycle. Just tick for that. It's a very logic. So first one is impact. So definitely our answers will be within these two only. The third, fourth, they are nowhere linked. So just come out of these two options. So among these only it will be there. So just look at the first one. Disaster, impact, then mitigation, rehabilitation, response. No. Then look at the second option. Impact, respond, rehabilitate, mitigate. Now students, do you agree the second option is
Yes,
fitting
ma'am.
for this cycle? Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
This is the right one. Next one. In disaster management, all are true except. Again, the question is except. What is this fellow is asking? Let us look at the option. Mitigation before a disaster strikes. Response in pre-disaster phase. Now look at this mitigation before a disaster strikes. It is right because here
Yes, ma'am.
in mitigation we are just thinking, planning, or if this happens in future, what I should do. All those plans I will do. So that is mitigation like before. Only you are very much clever that something I will do it, plan that impact will be less. So this is right. Now
Yes.
response in pre-disaster phase. What you will do
Wrong.
before some event occurs, what you will go and what you will do over there. There is no work for us only. Suddenly you get a dream that now in Bhubaneswar earthquake will happen. If you dream like that and if you send the team and all the team will stand and wait till the earthquake occurs, it is a useless. So response should be done only after
Post.
impact. So do you
Post.
think this second option is right? Somewhere it appears to be illogical. Yes. Then yellow color is for medium priority. Again, he's talking about triage. So it is true. Then gastroenteritis is commonest infection.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Now you people only tell me which is the except for this.
Response
Second
in
one.
pre-disaster phase.
Yeah, we don't go and act before the event occurs. So response in pre-disaster. Pre means before the disaster occur only nobody will go and stand there. No fireman person will stand in front of the house waiting till the fire waiting that some fire accident will happen. No. So the second option is wrong one. Next. In a disaster management triage, patients who need surgery within 24 hours are categorized under which color category? So again,
Blue.
he's talking about triage. So
Blue.
remember, red color, they require surgery or CPR within 0 to
Mhm.
6 hours.
Six
Remember
hours.
this. Yellow or blue color. Blue,
6 to
remember
24.
this. These fellows, they require treatment in 6 to
24.
24 hours. Then after that our green or ambulatory. Then black or dead or moribund. Now this is very simple, very very easy thing. Now red
Yes,
color, he is saying 24 within 24 hours surgery. No, red is within 6 hours. So definitely no. Yes, blue, fine. This is a very straightforward. Blue or yellow color, they are same only. So within 6 to 24 hours, some treatment you need to do. So I think this is the right option. Black means
yes,
useless, don't do anything. Green means send, say tata bye bye, ask them, give them a sweet smile and send them home. That is green or ambulatory. So what is the answer for here? Blue. Yes, are you all clear with this?
yes, ma'am.
Yes.
So I hope now all the possible MCQs and required matter has been covered for this disaster management. Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Any doubts for you?
No, ma'am.
No, right?
Yes. No, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Okay. So tomorrow there will be class on orthopedics.
Okay, ma'am.
So sir will come and he will take the discussion on ortho topic. You all can attend for that. It will